Hello and welcome to Day 2 of the Vibing Kingdom Howling Abyss 5v5 tournament. This time we'll have a matchup between Club Agony and Vibing Noonquiver. And so we will have a third community sends their roster of 5 to face off against Vibing's homegrown talent. To recap the event, we are hosting a tournament on Howling Abyss between these players from each of the two rosters. Additionally, this tournament is a single elimination bracket. These players will face off, and whoever wins 2 games or wins 1-1 with more turrets surviving will advance to the finals, where they play one final match next weekend. Previously, 2 days ago, we had the Frogs versus Vibing Tiamat. This matchup ended in a 1-1 tie, but because the Frogs had more turrets surviving, they would advance to the next stage of the tournament, and Vibing Tiamat would be eliminated. Today, we have Club Agony versus Vibing Noonquiver, and they will repeat that same formula in order to see who will advance to the finals and play next weekend. We're now waiting on the last members of the Club Agony roster to join the custom lobby, and then we'll start ready check and start the game. Pretty simple. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. The winter storm in the United States and Canada, I believe, has mostly improved, if not fully gone away. I can say that the weather in my area has been pretty nice. And looking at this lobby, I see 4-for-4 match between the two rosters. We're missing just one person from each roster. Before this match, I can say that the players from both rosters were trying to put in their last ARAM games right before the match would start, so that they could get warmed up and get a head start into this event. This is meant to be a semi-casual event, as the prize money is only $5 of RP for each player on the winning team. And in addition, the format is meant to keep things as contained and simple as possible. These teams play a best-of-2 series with each other, meaning they'll always play 2 games, and if you win both games, of course, that means you're the winner and you advance to the next round. If it's a tie, then the tiebreaker is decided by whichever team has more turrets surviving. Understandably, this may be a confusing format because the tiebreaker can cause the series to be decided before the second game concludes. But given the time constraints of a tournament, this will be the format that guides this competition. Now we wait for this 10th and final player, a member of Vibing Noonquiver, to join the lobby. Again, I'm excited what champions each player will pick. The champions are the highlight of League, after all. And everyone's got a pretty unique champ pool, just speaking generally. In addition, not everyone might play ARAM regularly. There are, of course, many who do. But ARAM is ARAM is not a ranked game mode, and so people may be less familiar playing ARAMs competitively than would Summoner's Rift maps competitively. And again, I hope everyone enjoys their Sunday night. I definitely am enjoying mine. I bought some hardware tools earlier today and got to work on a moving cart as well as window blinds. Just something nice. This lobby has a wide variation in account levels. You have people from levels 36 and 40 all the way to 663. That is a more than 10 times difference. That's over an order of magnitude difference in account level. Though, of course, people can have secondary accounts, or they may simply not play the game that much. And as you can see, most of the players here have not played much ranked on these accounts. And so most people are left unranked. Granted, we are at the start of a new competitive season, so even if people were interested in ranked, they might not have had the time. I'll go ahead and send a reminder to the last player to see if they'll join. As the event host, I find it interesting to see people's thought processes in preparing for this event. Everyone considered the champions they would pick given the format, and a recurring theme was seeing champions be considered because they're innately strong in the game mode, but ultimately sidelined because they don't fit the person's champ pool. And that's one big part of these competitions is personal champ pool. Most people don't play every champion, and a large number of people only play a handful. Some might even be one tricks. And that level of champion flexibility could be the deal breaker. But it's not really something you can change before a tournament happens, so the way you come in is probably the way you come out. We're waiting for this final player to join the lobby. All 10 players are here. I'll ask everyone to do ready check. And then when all 10 players have typed R, then we can start this match. Oh, that is a high character level, yes, 1304. Our range is from 36 to 1304. Alright. I motion the players to start. Personally, I lost track of the number of R's myself because some people will type R more than once. And now we're in Champ Select. The competition has started, and it starts in Champ Select. We will have our first set of bans for this round 2 of the tournament. Important to note is that while this game mode is in draft pick, ARAM draft pick customs only involve 3 bans from each team. I believe to unlock the last 2 bans, we'll have to do tournament draft. But with this in mind, both teams only have 3 bans, and it allows for differences in drafting. Vibing Noonquiver will take blue side this game, while Club Agony will take red side. Lux and Aphelios are taken away. Those are the first bans of this series. We'll now get our next 2 bans. And then after bans, we'll get to the exciting part, the picks. Vibing has 7 seconds to take away a champ, and it's Victor. They will take away a control mage who was piloted 2 days ago by Bowie on Vibing Tiamat, who eventually won with the pick. Lux and Aphelios, neither champ has been picked in this tournament. Eco gets taken away. Eco is another mage to be removed, and she was also piloted 2 days ago by Vibing Tiamat. Third and final ban from Vibing Noonquiver for game 1 of this series will come very soon. We only have 15 seconds to wait at most, if not more, or if not less. The final ban is Seraphine. She has been removed, and so Vibing removed 3 mages from the game. Club Agony are deliberating their third and final ban for this game 1 of the series. I wonder who it will be. Could be another squishy carry, could be a tank, could be a fighter and an assassin. Mel gets removed. In the series 2 days ago, the Frogs and Vibing Tiamat agreed to handshake the Mel so that neither team would ban her or pick her. And now Club Agony has made it physically impossible to take Mel at all. Mel has certainly made the rounds in the League community because of her infamous W. I'm curious on all the interactions. Jinx gets locked in for Vibing Noonquiver. Zed and Morgana get hovered, and they might very well be picked for Agony. Renata gets locked in instead. Now set, the hover remains for quite a while. It was hovered almost immediately once red side got their picks. We have 10 seconds until this pick is confirmed or swapped. 7 seconds remaining and set is locked in. And now Vibing get to pick their own duo. Brand gets hovered. We may look at both teams picking very balanced team comps. Something that you would see in a Summer's Rift game, for example. Something like 2 frontliners, a mage, a support, and a carry. Llune gets locked in. So far, Vibing's team remains pretty fragile. And 2 of those 3 champions have no dashes. Jace gets hovered, meanwhile, by Club Agony. And Jace's duo will be picked very, very soon. According to Riot's classification system, Jace is considered a specialist, as he can be very bursty with his 6 spells. Hui gets locked in. Very long-range champion. Immobile mage, but with a good amount of utility and burst, especially AoE damage. Now Vibing Noonquiver will lock in their final 2 picks for this Game 1 of the series. Twitch and Karma get locked in. There's a pretty squishy team on the side of Vibing, but the damage potential is very high. Plus, there's a lot of close-ranged stuns or snares. Meanwhile, Club Agony already have one frontliner in the set. And Malphite gets locked in for Club Agony. Now, all 10 champions have been picked. I can say that the Wombo potential for Agony feels higher to me than the combo for Vibing. There's more AoE CC and damage, I feel. I could be proven wrong, though. Brand and Llune plus Jinx with Runan's Hurricane can be pretty messy. We have to wait 3 minutes for spectator delay. Even though we're the ones who create the lobby, but it's also a custom game. But as we count down 3 minutes, I'd like to appreciate the picks that both teams have locked in. From my experience as a player, I feel that the burst and poke is superior on the side of Vibing. Karma's Q, especially her mantra Q, can do lots of damage, as that champion only has 2 damaging spells, and her third basic ability is a shield, and her ult is to empower her other spells. She doesn't have a true ult. Kind of like Jace. Brand is also superbly high damage. He deals % max HP burn on his passive, which he can apply with any of his spells, all 4 of which are damaging spells. And in addition, 3 of them are AoE damaging spells. Meanwhile, Club Agony have a very strong engage. You have Malphite with his ult, which I would label as unpeelable engage. Sure, you can poke down Malphite, or you can force him to ult away. You can also zone him away for a bit, but since his ult is unstoppable, you can't stop it with any CC except for Quinn's vault, I believe. If Quinn were to land her vault in the split second that Malphite is still in the air and not already crashed to the ground, then she will interrupt the Malphite ult. On top of that, Set can do something very similar and throw someone into the enemy team. Pull them in with his E and then smack them with the W. I'd be interested to see who engages first on either team. I feel that the engage is stronger on the side of Club Agony, given their frontliners and the CC abilities I just mentioned, on top of the Renata Glass follow-up. Meanwhile, Vibing seem to have a stronger poke comp. I do note that the carries don't really have a frontliner going for them. I don't see a Cho'Gath or a Sejuani. There's no Alistar, Rel, Tahm Kench. And now we're going to get in game. We'll get into the match real soon, and I'll show you guys the loading screen. With League being difficult to stream, I have to show my monitor as opposed to streaming a window. Alright, we see all 10 picks. I'll show you everyone's masteries. Vibing seem to be going for comfort, while Club Agony don't have a whole lot of mastery points on their side. And by the looks of it, one of those M10 plus champs on the side of Vibing have more mastery than all of Agony combined. on all 5 of their picks. And we're in! I'll look to make this window full screen. It typically is with these resolution settings. I'm just not sure why now. It's a little funny. And we're full screen. You guys don't have to see my OBS. Both teams have postured. And Vibing have the positional advantage right now as they pushed up and taking control of the 2 bushes facing the enemy side. The first poke goes out from both teams, and both teams land some spells. DemonLordMicah and the Shamrock Malphite covers 1 bush, while BestAsianWill and the Llune covers the other. In these initial levels before both teams get their ults, we might see a little bit of fighting. We get our first engage from BestAsianWill and the Llune. And we get some poke down from Seki's Brand. Both teams still slinging spells against each other. Vibing now have the momentum as their wave is shoving slightly harder than Agony's, although we're still in the first moments of the game. CrucifiedEvelynn gets poked down on the set, but has almost fully charged grit. Doesn't decide to use it, though. Oop. BestAsianWill goes in for an E engage with Q3, snares some people, and then leaves some damage, which Kindred Rainbow will follow up on with the Twitch. Still wave clear from both sides as we haven't gotten to our items. Items are super important in League. DemonLordMicah gets poked down pretty low, gets hit by Brand's combo as well, and suffers the Brand 3-spell hit passive explosion. As the game goes on, that Brand is going to hit harder and harder, but so will everyone else on the team. Might see more angles from... Oop! First blood goes over to Karma on the side of Vibing. And some more poke comes out as Club Agony's members rock back. First blood goes over to Vibing, but the game is far from over. Second blood goes over to Vibing as well, as BestAsianWill flashes out with the Llune after clutching the kill. Club Agony have some windows to poke back, I believe, as there are no windows covering the likes of Noonquiver at the moment. Clearly, Agony are waiting very patiently for their ults to proc, or for their ults to become active. Barrier comes out from Jace. Pretty uneasy. Right now, the first health packs from both teams have spawned, and both teams will collect them. Meanwhile, Agony, taking advantage of this position, have gained the momentum and are pushing towards the blue side of the map. Once Jace gets lethality items and once Brand gets burn items, you can expect both of them to definitely do a lot more poke. Jinx Rocket comes out and Anime kills Jace. Kindred kills Hui as well, and the Twitch picks up a kill. Bailout manages to save the set, who throws down a W, survives the ult engage from Llune, but eventually burns and falls to Seki's Brand. So far, it is 2v3 right now on the map. 3v3, 4v3 in favor of Club Agony. And Jace comes forward, flashes, and gives over a kill to the Hui, who snares the enemy and gives over a kill to the Jace as well. Jinx manages to root the Hui, and now the Hui is in great danger. I don't know if he can get a kill in time. He does not in order to activate the bailout. Anime is going crazy on Jinx as Jinx has gotten excited and runs towards them. In terms of kills, it's 7-4 right now, with a gold lead actually in favor of Vibing. and the second health packs will now spawn. Vibing maintain a lead in terms of momentum. The Malphite gets poked down a lot, and Brand gets another kill in this game. Llune steps forward in order to protect the Twitch. Sets Grit is fully charged. Jinx is firing at the enemy, but ultimately gets taken down by the Hui, who manages to pick up a shutdown on the AD carry. Map is 2-4, and BestAsianWill has landed a snowball onto Sesnhon's Jace. Does not take it, though. Jace is under turret and right next to the set, who can easily pull him in and kill him. The 3 melees of Agony have now respawned. And now all 5 of Agony have respawned with a superior health lead. Llune goes in and gets some poked down, but gets rooted as he snaps back to his original spot. The health packs get grabbed. And now the fight continues on. The initial poke goes out. Llune has his Q3, his knock-up ready. Does not use it. Ultimately snaps back. Agony get more poked down. And they still maintain an HP lead. Additionally, all 10 players on the map have their R buttons ready. The cooldowns for all of their spells are ready. And so we might see an engage happen underneath the turret of Vibing Noonquiver as Agony make it to the enemy turret for the first time this game and eventually back off. The waves will now reset, but Agony have a positional advantage. Llune gets a massive ult in and catches 3 people. Renata retaliates with her own ult, but the hostile takeover catches no one. Malphite catches 3 people, however, and burns 2 flashes, ultimately getting 2 kills for the team of Agony. And then a 3rd kill comes out with Renata picking up a shutdown onto the Karma. And now Agony are 5 versus 2 strong in this game with the positional lead as Llune and Jinx have to defend this turret. More poke comes out. Another spell comes out. And yet another spell comes out and hits the Twitch. Agony continue with their momentum. And they have gotten the kill difference closer. Now only 2 between them, 10 kills to 8 kills. Meanwhile, the first completed items are coming out for both sides. You might see Heartsteel, Blackfire Torch, Collector, Bork on the inventories of both teammates, or of both teams. Malphite might have stepped up a little too far as he gets poked down and burns slowly thanks to the combined poison and burn. The waves have now reset. I'm imagining once these teams hit level 11, even more of these fights, even more of these crazy trading fights will take place. Jinx DPSs down the Malphite, and Twitch ultimately picks up the kill. Jinx gets another kill of her own, and Renata is frozen and gets taken down by the Jinx. It is 2 unanswered kills in favor of Vibing Noonquiver. And now they push into Agony's turret against the 2 melees. Although you could argue Jace is ranged now. Agony's waiting for their members to respawn. And the Malphite catches 4 people! Hui catches 3 people with the ultimate. The Wombo combo comes out. And now the advantages gained in Champ Select are being realized as Vibing gets swept off the map by Club Agony. That was a 3v5. Renata and Jace were not there when all that happened, and they swept Vibing off their knees. Vibing may lose their first turret here. They do not actually, as Club Agony backs away and they lack a turret. They lack a wave in order to respond. Set burns and loses lots of his HP, and he ultimately falls to one of the Jinx's rockets. Jinx now DPSs the Jace and pokes the Hui just a little bit. Llune goes in, but misses the engage. At the moment, no more kills happen on this map. Vibing Noonquiver's turret is looking pretty low. Same goes for the turret of Agony, and Llune hits 2 people with the tornado And Seki claims a kill onto the Jace. CrucifiedEvelyn's respawn, and Humvee's also respawn. So now, while not everyone's got high health bars, Club Agony have gained 4 of their 5 members back, with the Jace respawning in 5 seconds. BestAsianWill is looking for some poke, while the 4 ranged champions of Vibing stand pretty far back, likely in fear of what the Set and Malphite can do. Llune gets a big engage, and Jinx gets another big rocket. Renata gets a big hostile takeover as Jinx kills her own teammates with those rockets. Both sides have fairly low HP bars, with Llune on the Karma having higher. Llune flashes in, misses the tornado, and gets poked down, likely to fall, and CrucifiedEvelynn gets the last punch in as Jace. But then Jinx gets the last laugh and picks up a triple kill onto Club Agony's members, and autos the turret extremely quickly with her Get Excited passive now fully activated. Jace is following, but cannot find the kill onto Jinx just yet. Malphite does have the Unstoppable Force ready, flashes away to get to safety. Now the 2 ADCs of Vibing have poked down the Jace just a little bit. Vibing have the push momentum, and importantly for them, Agony's ults are not all ready. However, only 2 of Vibing's ults are ready. Now Agony have the momentum as they have superior HP. That Jinx is looking very fragile, and if she sneezes on a bad day, she might just fall. DemonLordMicah postures looking for a massive Malphite ult, as they have done a couple times this game already. Picks up the Llune on an ult, who gets picked up in turn by the Set, and eventually Kindred Rainbow gets hit by the hostile takeover and kills their own teammate. But the Twitch is going crazy as he flashes forward and gets more kills for himself. He's poised to get a quadra kill. He throws down the poison. The Set throws down the W, but ultimately the quadra kill is realized, and Twitch even survives on the back foot as long as he doesn't die to turret right now. It may be smart to do so, though, to execute and get your items. Blue team has destroyed the first turret after surviving the brunt of that initial siege by Club Agony. But this game is still anyone's game, I would say. Despite the kill difference, we have seen the sheer power that Club Agony's Wombo Combo team comp can offer. And Agony have one of the few champions that scales off the strength of the enemy with hostile takeover. Llune does not get any kills, but does poke down the Renata down to 66% HP, who heals back with the health pack. Both teams are still ready to fight, and importantly, Agony's ults are almost all ready, including the big purple R button from the Renata. Malphite goes in and catches 2 people, one of which is the Llune. Llune gets his own catch, but ultimately the brand falls and Llune falls too. Snowball lands for the Malphite, who slams the ground with his E, but Lune's Karma manages to escape. But she doesn't escape the Hui ult engage, and ultimately she falls. Anime has slain Isha as well as the Hui and Jace both die. Meanwhile, Kindred gets caught, and he is the last of the Vibing members to fall. That marks all 5 Vibing dead. Meanwhile, 2 of them respawn and take the Hex Gates to go back to the action. Seki lands a basic combo, but does not have vision in order to land that 3rd spell onto the Malphite, who eventually carries that Malphite passive over to the Renata and gives the brand a double kill. Hui and Set, more than capable champions in this game, are defending the turret, and so has the Jace joins. They are now pushing forward as the minion waves go forward. But I see from the body language that Vibing seems to have a little advantage position-wise in this map. We've only got 1 lane, but even so, you can still see positional advantage and momentum, that which you might call tempo. Both teams are moving back and forth. Now we have all 5 players alive and 4 out of 5 ults ready for both teams. The snowball is landed onto Karma by the Malphite, but Malphite ultimately does not opt into the engage. His teammate is too far away, understandably. Both teams have this cowboy standoff right now as they're waiting for each other to make a mistake. It's a pretty tense situation as Set has to burn a flash in order to avoid the fireball and third and final spell from... Oh, Malphite goes in and catches the Jinx. Hui throws his ult, but ultimately misses. Llune gets an ult and ultimately escapes. Meanwhile, Brand is wrecking havoc throughout the map as Llune cleans up the Malphite and Hui is taken down, with Jace being the only survivor of this Club Agony roster. Seeing a pretty low Llune and fairly healthy other members of Vibing Noonquiver, who now push into the turret, ready to kill the Jace. Kindred Rainbow walks forward, but ultimately falls. Same with BestAsianWill on the Llune. Eventually, Brand gets the stun onto the Jace, and Jace still gets the last laugh as a triple kill goes over to him. The inhib has gotten exposed for Club Agony, who now spawn in unison and clean up the Brand effortlessly. Karma's now locked down and has to shield herself. Slows down the enemy for just a little bit, but it is all for naught now as Club Agony get their own ace, 3 of which were claimed by the Jace. Agony now push forward and have the momentum. I do not know if they will reach this turret in time before the likes of Twitch and Llune clear the wave. And now Jinx has respawned as well and joined the fray. DemonLordMicah sits forward and tanks for the team while the rest of Agony pushes and clears the wave. Again, we may have another cowboy standoff, although this time Agony have the positional advantage. They've got the momentum as the wave shoves in first. It's important to know for any type of game mode, Summoner's Rift or Howling Abyss, that no minions, no shove. The standstill continues. No one's drawn their weapon just yet. Brand goes in for a little bit of poke onto the Malphite, and Malphite occupies the bush, holding a very secure position for starting an engage, and Jace pops a shock blast, powered by the acceleration gate. Brand steps forward to get some poke. Llune also steps forward and burns the flash of Malphite, who I'm assuming had feared the Llune ult engage. And when you're a big boy like Malphite, you really got to be there for your team to peel and engage. Llune goes in to peel and engage, and pokes down the Renata pretty decently. Meanwhile, Jinx fires off the Super Mega Death Rocket and smacks 2 people with it. No kills, though. Jinx's ult deals more damage based on how low the enemy's HP bar is. And so it's good as a finishing move, not as an opener. Still, both teams not fully committed to an engage just yet. I assume something will happen if the Malphite were to press R right now. Malphite presses R and catches the Jinx. Twitch ultimately sees it and flashes away. Renata lands the ult and catches multiple people. But in the meantime, Club Agony have gotten caught themselves, and multiple of them have fallen to Vibing's combos. Triple kill goes over to Seki on the Brand. BestAsianWill has slain DemonLordMicah, and now Isha on the Hui has to run away, but ultimately falls as they are slowed and slain by Twitch. Ace goes over to Vibing. That is 4 members surviving for Vibing Noonquiver, while all of Agony have been aced. Looks like inhib will fall. Vibing may be looking to get some... Vibing may be looking to grab some turrets, but seems like that is impossible, as all 4 of Agony have since respawned. All 5 of Agony have now respawned. Hui's ready to paint us a pretty picture with those low HP bars, and Jace is leading the team into tomorrow. Malphite runs forward and prepares for a kill. Shutdown goes over to the Jace as Brand falls, and now Vibing are left with no burn mage in order to support their efforts. Looking at everyone's builds, I won't show this for too long. People have gotten 3 to 4 items So this is pretty late in an ARAM. The game might wrap up real soon. The frontliners for Club Agony have postured, and they're ready to engage. The carries for Agony also posturing. Everyone's ready to kill in this lobby. The waves come out, and Karma tosses some Qs and activates Guardian to protect her teammates, while Brand hunches forward. Twitch hunches forward. Got a big old Poro here. I wonder how many people have fed this guy. Another wave comes in, and Agony remain in control of the map as they have the momentum. Meanwhile, Llune gets a big engage and catches 3 people. Hui retaliates with his ult, but ultimately does not get a kill in return. And Jinx is going absolutely insane over there as she picks up a triple kill for Brand and a double kill for herself. 2 people getting 5 kills, and an ace goes over to Vibing Noonquiver. This might be the end of the match. Given how long the death timers are for Club Agony, we might very well see the end of the first game, as Agony's turrets are being sieged by 2 ADCs and a Llune. And now, with no members of Agony remaining, Game 1 goes over to Vibing Noonquiver. And we'll see everyone for Game 2 very soon as we take a short break. Again, congratulations to Noonquiver as well as Agony for playing this match. It was very close, and you can see in the damage graphs how hard everyone pulled through in this series. Both teams, very strong, very capable wombo combo ults as well. I'll take a short water break myself. It's good to stay hydrated. The amount of hydration depends on your level of physical activity, your body mass, as well as your biological sex. I'll give the players some breathing room. Give everyone a mental reset. I don't want to bog down. I don't want to bog down anyone with the stress of playing through a tournament for longer than they have to. Although, arguably, I could just start the second game right away. Given that Club Agony lost the first match, they will have the benefit of side selection for the second match. Stream seemed frozen for a portion of the game. They want to check everything on OBS. That is a good observation. I'll see if everything is running well on my side. I didn't notice any freezing when I watched the VODs for round 1 of the tournament, which I was very thankful for. Typically there are tech issues. And this being my 3rd tournament, hopefully I've got some experience under my belt. I wonder if the freeze occurred near the start, where the game did not full screen for me, or near the end when the game booted me out of the in-game window. I'll have to review the stream after it ends, perhaps. I don't believe you can rewind. You can't rewind with Twitch streams, and I won't be able to view that video footage until all this is over. But that is very good to highlight. I'll now create the lobby for all the players. Give them something to do while they're waiting. And of course, I hope they all had a wonderful mental reset. Because, especially for any teams that lose, being in that position in a tournament can be really tough on the mental. And mental is 90% of the battle, I would say, at the skill brackets that most league players play in. Keeping calm is super important. Important in every competition. I will let everyone know about side selection. Club Agony have chosen to draft from the blue side of the map. I'll get all 10 players here. I hope everyone's enjoyed the tournament so far. Personally, it's my first tournament in... This is the first one I've hosted in over 2 years, so admittedly I'm a little rusty. But I'd always like to improve and make a show for everyone. If anyone notices any video or audio issues, please let me know immediately. I'm someone who wants to focus on making a quality experience for everyone. Yes. Here you see all 10 players have joined the lobby, so once everyone gets into their proper roles, or rather their proper side of the map, we should be able to play. Mel will not be handshaked. She will be available for both teams to use. Although, given that she's only been live released for 3 to 4 days, I don't imagine anyone is extremely proficient on Mel. I have not played her myself, but I gather that she doesn't seem extremely complex. Seems like a pretty basic mage outside the W. Now I have to count up the R's and see if there's about 10. 10 players who have typed R. I guess I could come up with a better system to see how many R's there are, but I feel that typing in the League client is the most convenient way. And now we've made it to another Champ Select, Game 2 of this series. I want to see if anyone will adapt their picks. Jinx gets banned. That's a pick from first game. And we all saw the carnage that Jinx wrought in Arcane as well as in Howling Abyss last game. She's pretty terrifying if not focused first in ARAM, and many Jinx players do stand back pretty far. Lux gets taken away. Staple from the first game. Twitch gets removed. Another ban from last game. We see lots of adaptation on the side of Club Agony. And like I mentioned in the middle of Game 1, the game starts at Champ Select. It's good to be competitive and strategize if you're looking to win. Although, of course, this is a Howling Abyss event, which I don't imagine has the same prestige as a Summoner's Rift tournament or a competition. Those players aren't very practiced. Aphelios gets taken away. The third and final ban. All 3 bans from Club Agony are marksman champs. Long range auto attack DPS. Brand gets taken away from by Vibing, banning a champ that they themselves played. Soraka gets locked in. First pick for Club Agony. So we have an Enchanter locked in. Sion gets locked in. And now Llune is being hovered again for Vibing and does get locked in. Kog'Maw gets picked for Club Agony. I'm pretty interested in champs like Kog'Maw, which are hyper carries that require basically the whole team to be shaped around them. Because since the whole team is often shaped around them, you can make a couple guesses on what the rest of the team will look like. Akshan gets locked in for Agony. There goes the first 3 picks for the blue side team. Meanwhile, Llune, Sion, who else? Who will accompany these 2 picks? I'm guessing 2 ranged champions. Llune and Sion are both melee. Although Sion is far tankier than Llune. Samira gets hovered. AD champion. Now, Smolder gets hovered. Sivir gets locked in. Another 2 marksman comp, plus a Llune from Vibing. Seraphine gets hovered. A mage enchanterish champion. Mordekaiser gets hovered instead and gets locked in. Personally, that's one of my favorite champions to play ever. I picked up 2 pentakills on Mordekaiser. One in ARAM and another in Summoner's Rift by playing him in mid lane. Now Cassante gets hovered. A strong, durable frontliner who maybe is a little tricky to play. Maokai gets hovered instead. We might see Maokai from Micah. 3, 2 seconds left, and Maokai gets locked in for the 5th and final champion that Club Agony will play this series. Orianna gets picked for Vibing and rounds out their team comp with a magic damage dealer. I'm seeing fairly balanced teams from both sides. I could look at either side, and, well, more so for Club Agony. Agony have a classic Summoner's Rift type comp. You can easily tell who the top jungle, mid, bot, support are on that team. And as for Vibing, their team is, again, pretty squishy. You have the pseudo-tankiness of Llune, and then the real tankiness of Sion. But other than that, Vibing, I would say, maybe more vulnerable to being jumped on. perhaps. I don't consider myself an expert at this game, but I do love organizing events. We've got another 3-minute spectator delay. What we saw last time, the countdown didn't actually go all the way to 0, and we got off with a little bonus and went into the loading screen pretty early. Hopefully the loading screen full screens this time, so you guys don't have to see my monitor the whole time through. 2 minutes on the spectator delay. Minions spawn in Summoner's Rift at around minute 5 seconds. And because of the lengths of the lanes, mid lane has the minion waves crash first, and then bot and top lane crash second. I'm not all that well versed with the Summoner's Rift changes in this new season. Of course, we have things like Atakan and the 3 feats. Importantly, they changed the first blood feat to be the first 3 kills rather than just the first kill. I feel that was a healthy and realistic change for the game. No other thoughts on the other changes, though. When I win or lose games, I don't personally attribute them to the strength of the upgraded boots. But who knows, they could be really strong behind the scenes, and I'm just not aware of it. 1 minute now until the game starts. What we saw last game, there was lots of wombo combo from Malphite, Set, Hui, and Renata for Club Agony, and then Llune, Brand, and Jinx for, and then the combined Jinx and Twitch for Vibing Noonquiver. Yes. The Vibing Kingdom community is large enough for 2 teams in this tournament. Now, unfortunately, the league window is not full screen for me yet again, and so we'll have to full screen it manually ourselves. Looking at the champion masteries, we see that Vibing again pick many comfort picks, with Kindred on Sivir being the exception. And meanwhile, we see lots of experience on Humvie Soraka. Hopefully experience pulls through this game. We've loaded into the Rift, and now I'll have to manually change our window to be first windowed, and now full screen. So as long as there are no technological mishaps, we should be seeing the inside of this lobby. Sion pushes forward pretty early and lands the first damage of the game, which is the slam onto the Soraka. Mordekaiser gets 2 people with the Death's Grasp, and looks like BestAsianWill will nearly fall, and does fall to the Akshan. Anime gets a kill onto the rival ADC Kog'Maw, gets rooted and slain by Akshan, who manages to revive Kog'Maw. That Akshan passive may very well be the difference maker in this game. It's pretty strong when you can revive people in such a short map. And ever since they added these hex gates, death timers are longer, but the commute back to the lane is much shorter. Pretty dangerous spot the Mordekaiser's in as he gets smacked by another Sion fully charged slam. Now both teams are in a standoffish position, although I feel that given the context of the game already, we're going to see lots of violence as Llune Q3's in and dives towards the Soraka, who has to flash away before Llune snaps back with the unstoppable E recast. DemonLordMicah comes in and burns the flash away from Kindred Rainbow Sivir, and Mordekaiser gets another kill onto the enemy team. Sion throws down the Q, but ultimately hits no one as the members of Agony are able to escape the undead Juggernaut's rampage. He prepares another Q and lands it squarely onto the forehead of Kog'Maw. Meanwhile, the rest of Vibing go in and follow suit of the undead Juggernaut. Agony at the moment have the advantage. And Isha's Akshan is putting in some numbers there, poking down the Sivir. We're doing pretty good damage right now. Right now, Vibing are playing defensive as Agony's got the lead. Kog'Maw gets snared by a Q, and just like that, before Kog'Maw can even click to walk away, he is forced into his passive. Akshan seems to be frozen, and unfortunately has DC'd from the game and reconnected. Unfortunate when those moments happen. All we can really say. Maokai's got great bush control, and Yone's got great engage. Ooh, Sivir's looking pretty low. Maokai gets slowed down, and Akshan manages to revive. Akshan goes farther in, and Club Agony are making numbers here as they get more and more kills. Plus, one person revived on their side. Ultimately, they ace the members of Vibing Noonquiver on their half of the map, and it seems Agony will actually get the first autos off onto an enemy turret. Health pack for Vibing is alive, and Agony did not take it as they were on the retreat. The red side of the map is still playing defensive. Sion's slam is interrupted by Soraka. Llune gets some good damage off, and the unstoppable charge from Sion gets interrupted. Llune dashes in, but he doesn't catch anyone, and now Vibing are suddenly left without a tank. Yone's lasting a pretty long time against the Mordekaiser, though, and Samira dashes in, unable to get enough style points, though, to unlock the ult, and Orianna has to run away as 3 of her teammates have died in front of her. Sion returns, standing at the edge of a bush, perhaps looking for another fully charged Q-slam, but as we have seen, Soraka is pretty capable when it comes to interrupting those channels. When it comes to a Pyke Q, for example, she can throw down that little circle, and suddenly Pyke is feeling too tired to reel back the fishing hook. Although I guess it's a harpoon that Pyke uses. Snowball comes in, does not hit DemonLordMicah's Maokai. Right now, Club Agony, pretty strong lead in the kills, 14-7, double that of Vibing Noonquivers. Vibing now have the positional advantage. Throughout this game, we'll see the bush control of Maokai pretty easily. Maokai's got those saplings, can throw a bunch of them in one bush or multiple. Mordekaiser gets poked down pretty low. The Mage Juggernaut champion, Llune on the Orianna, also gets taken down pretty low in positions far away. Llune goes in and catches 2 people with the knockup. Samira goes in, but she's pretty low HP and gets slammed into the wall by the giant tree man. Sion's fully charged Q does not hit anyone, and some more poke goes out as CrucifiedEvelynn has slain Rainbow Kindred's Sivir. It's now Sion and Llune versus the world. 2 people against 3, and Mordekaiser with the Q kills the Llune. Sion is now fully enraged and smacks the Kog'Maw, who flashes away, but ultimately gets caught by Samira's little gun. She is at a B-style rank. I'm not sure if we have seen Samira's ult yet this game, as there's so much close-range CC on the side of Club Agony to interrupt it. We're seeing the kill difference continue to expand, as it is now 19-10 in favor of Agony, who hold a approximately 2k gold lead in this game. Additionally, we are seeing the first completed items come out. Collector plus 2 components of IE for this Akshan, who has been popping off this game, getting some revives and DPSing down the mostly squishy champions of Vibing. We've made it to a standoff. Soraka's silence comes out. Important to note that because it is a powerful peel tool. Mordekaiser's E also comes out. And Llune has fully charged his Q. Samira's not looking the absolute healthiest, and Llune tanks a turret shot. Maokai throws down the Nature's Grass, and meanwhile, Scion's able to catch two people with that Q. Big ult from Orianna. The Shockwave catches two. Scion dives in and gets a third and a fourth. Samira gets a massive ult and ultimately picks up 4 of those 5 kills that we have just witnessed in this game. That is an ace. That is a turret siege. That is first turret of this game killed in favor of Vibing, who have turned it around. Still down in kills, but they now have the momentum and are pushing in to the turret of Club Agony. It's good not to count anyone out, of course, as we've seen in both games, and as we saw on Friday night. Another slam comes out from Scion, who catches the Mordekaiser and sets him up for a poke relay from the rest of Vibing. Mordekaiser gets hit once again. Meanwhile, Samira is having to duel 2 separate people, and I'm betting that Akshan ult was prepped because Samira was in execute range. We have a health pack, lots of people hovering around it, and Scion, the big man, is the one to pick it up. Alright. Agony have gotten control of these bushes. Ooh! The Akshan gets caught, though! Soraka's wish ultimately does not save her ally, as Samira is trapped and fighting Mordekaiser in the Death Realm. Meanwhile, Scion's ult has been popped, and BestAsianWill kills the Kog'Maw. Maokai slows down the Llune in order to protect the Soraka, who has largely healed up. Soraka does get caught by that Q3 tornado. Silence Llune, cannot Q or W. The snapback eventually kills the Enchanter healer for Agony, but not without the death of Llune. And now that so many people have died, it seems the map is reset. 25-9 in kill, still in favor of Agony. We know what this man's revives can do, and we know what an ADC can do. And so we should see a whole lot of unpredictable fights in this game. It will come down to very minute mechanics and decision making, I feel. Also predict, personally, that the engage will come from... I feel the next engage will come from Mordekaiser or Llune. We've seen that Scion is more than capable of landing knockups with the Q, but Agony may adapt to it as the game goes on. Level 11 for everyone, either 2 items or 1.5 items for everyone on this map. The Q comes out, and it looks like CrucifiedEvelynn with the uncanny premonition feels that a undead man's hammer is about to slam on the ground, and ultimately does not approach towards the bush. Ultimately does not approach the bush. Llune comes in with the E. Crucially does not hit anything with it and will not have it for some time. Q comes in, but Soraka preemptively blocks it with the silence. Kog'Maw is pushing forward and landing some mean poke onto Kindred Rainbow, who ultimately spell shields that last hit. Llune comes in and smacks 2 people. Scion smacks 2 people. Orianna smacks 2 people. And now Samira goes back in and picks up a triple kill for herself, letting Vibing sweep all 5 of Agony's members in the span of maybe 6 seconds, if not more or less. The wave for Vibing has disappeared, and Llune buys some time for the wave to show back up with the E. It looks like the turret is still focused on the Llune, understandably so. This turret will fall, and Kog'Maw shows up to the Hex Gate, but it seems like that was a little premature for a squishy champion. Akshan shows up, though, and Mordekaiser gets the pull. Akshan gets interrupted as he's taken down the much of the HP of the Orianna, and now CrucifiedEvelynn on the Mordekaiser hits the Scion until he enters his zombie form. Now CrucifiedEvelynn picks up another kill onto the server. 2 members of Vibing to defend, 1 control mage and 1 ADC. It is possible. Um, it is very possible, 100% likely actually, that Vibing will lose that turret. Samira gets a huge ult that doesn't get interrupted at all, and eventually deals more and more damage. Suddenly, only the 2 defensive champions, the Maokai and the Soraka, are left, and Soraka falls. Maokai's left to all his lonesome, but Samira gets a massive shield that not many people can crack. And eventually, Vibing gets another 1 for 5. They're now looking straight at this inhib, 4,000 HP. And without any members of Agony at the moment, the inhib will fall. And the kills, not quite equalized just yet. Agony are looking for more kills. And I've been booted out of the client, but I'm going back into the client. And we're back! Akshan swings forward and baits out the Llune E, who eventually does not catch anyone with it. Sion has to flash away, and Akshan does do a whole ton of damage. That champion's kit is very high DPS. Synergizes perfectly with PTA. Mordekaiser gets poked down, but this time it's a lot less painful as the Soraka's there and numbers have increased. Mord has built the Andres and is going full tank. The Scion ult doesn't hit anyone. Meanwhile, a lot of Vibing's members are super low. The Orianna Shockwave catches everyone as Soraka is super low and will likely die to the snapback. She does not. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser is fending off the Samir and catches her. Luckily for Club Agony, 3 of their members are still surviving, though they don't quite have a wave to push with. They do have to push against super minion waves as well, but that is a huge team fight victory, and it shows that you can't count out anyone in winning this game. End of this game is still undecided. Looking at the items, people have gotten their 3rd items already. The people with the most kills, Kog'Maw with 11 and Samira with 15. Those are pretty big numbers, very scary regardless of game mode. And while kills are worth not as much gold in ARAM as they are in Summoner's Rift, you still got to be real careful. And those kills are not imaginary things. Right now, Soraka stepping forward pretty far, and she gets caught. She gets caught. She gets caught. Llune catches the rest of the team, and the Orianna Shockwave catches them all as DemonLordMicah has to run away on the Maokai. Eventually, he throws some saplings and pokes down the enemy just a bit, but Kindred Rainbow eventually claims the kill onto the Maokai, and Samira gets a double kill in the southern corner of the map as Akshan falls. That's a 5-0 ace for Vibing Noonquiver, and they have marched on to the nexus of Club Agony, and it looks like they will claim the 2nd win of this series, going 2-0 against their opponents. Congratulations to Vibing Noonquiver, and congratulations also to Club Agony for participating and taking Vibing to their limits multiple times throughout both games, leading this game in kills. And now I will take a short break and interview the players, starting with the winners. I want to give everyone a mental reset, and I don't want to bog anyone down with the feeling of the stress of playing through a tournament any longer. I hope everyone enjoyed the tournament, everyone who participated as well as anyone watching. And so, I'll take a brief intermission, stop for some water, and then I'll get to some short interviews with the players. If you're familiar with my streams and my tournaments from a couple of years ago, I tended to do pretty long interviews, 20 to 30 minutes for each team, but I've cut back dramatically on that, and so more direct. I will now interview the members of Vibing Noonquiver. One of our 2 homegrown teams in this tournament, the other being Vibing Team Up.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome.
Well, congratulations on winning that series 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll ask you guys similar
Thank you.
questions to what I asked the frogs.
Oh.
What was your mind going through Champ Select?
Honestly, we just kind of thought of picking champs that like we were all semi-comfortable with and thought would be good.
Okay.
Please don't pick Mel. Please don't pick Mel.
I picked whatever the team needed.
Nice. Whatever the team needed, whatever we're comfortable with, don't pick Mel. Yes.
I play any type of champ in the game, so whatever they needed and whatever they said for me to pick, I picked.
Nice. Very good to
Not
have
gonna
that
lie,
flexibility.
I am glad Mel was not in the game because I must confess I have not read all her abilities.
Nice. Well, I can't say I've actually read the abilities of most champs. I know what they do, but... Yep. Alright. And now my next question is, who would you consider the MVP of the series? Overall, both games.
I don't know.
I'd say the best ADC player in the world. That'd be Angel. Literally better than that.
I will say, I got saved a lot by Angel in the first game, and then those were some pretty
shocking Orientals.
Yeah.
Shockwave.
Yeah, that
In the
was
good
nuts.
way. Dude,
What
I was
was the
gonna say
skin?
that, but I was like, doesn't that sound negative? It's like, wait, I don't know.
I rip it.
Fucking is a better word for it.
I think everyone did really good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't pick one particular person to be MVP. I think everyone did really, really well.
Yeah. Everyone did pretty great. Now, was there a specific... Game 1 was more difficult than Game 2, I would say. Looking from the outside in. When would you guys say you turned it around?
I think once we like after like the first fight and we saw that like we like kind of like as long as we position right and like and we get like strong Llune ults
Yes.
that we can win, that like the game was winnable, like we kind of played off that momentum. I think
Nice.
I think the Llune player, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but he got really good ults. And whenever Malphite would just either ult me or like would like miss ult, which would follow up very, very well. And overall, I think everyone did. I think we all had like a good mindset in it, and like we kind of all thought that we could win this game.
Nice.
That game, even though it was hard, we all played that very well. So
That is great.
yeah.
Yes. Anyone else with thoughts on that question?
As soon as we actually spread out and Malphite couldn't get team-wide ults, like it was just a win after win.
Nice.
Because I could only ult 1 to 2 people, and then the rest of us would kill the enemy team.
Nice.
And my
Yeah.
ADC checked USS, so they stopped shooting me.
Very nice.
That's true. The first game, our comp was not the most
Squishy.
balanced,
Yes.
and so I think that was probably. I think Cam on Sion, them with that clean like 3-second stun like 12
Yes.
times that game or something.
Yes.
So they were pretty not able to just walk up and attack us for free.
Yeah, the knockups from the bush were really, I think those were integral to our engage.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
And then the Orioles
been-
on top of it just made it easy for me and Sivir to shred through the rest of their team.
Nice.
Yeah. I think Akshan was, like, personally at least, my main concern because
Yeah.
I think our burst is a little stronger since the Cosmo's on in it.
Yeah.
And so Akshan was like most of it. Or, in my opinion, at least, for like really good.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I think like halfway through the second game, like we all just kind of agreed that like as long as we kill Octron first, like the game was like the fight was winnable.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now my final question is, you guys have advanced to the finals where you face you will face against the Frogs. The Frogs have already defeated a Vibing roster, and so they will have experience taking down some of our own. How do you guys feel about your opponents?
Honestly, I mean, I don't care. I'm just here to have fun, chill with people, and see what the fuck happens.
Alrighty. Anyone else?
I hope they play their best.
I'm gonna teach
I would
the
love
Crowbar a
to.
lesson.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday you said assault was a good reword. Wrap it up.
Oh, that's
Wrap it up.
what it is.
All right.
Teach 'em. Nope.
Anyone else? Any thoughts on your upcoming opponent, the Frogs?
I'm
Wait,
just here to
I'm pretty
vibe.
excited.
Nice.
Pretty excited for the targeted bans
Yes.
that are
How
gonna be
does it work
happening.
with
How does it work with what?
is Cam
Am I still the sub for next week? Is what he's trying to ask.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still available?
I'm available. Yeah.
If your regular 5th member Hazel cannot show up, or if anyone else is gone, then Cameron here will sub in.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah,
I can
wasn't
say
sure.
that scheduling issues will likely persist into the finals. So Yes.
My
What
only
day are we
request-
considering?
Can we please leave affiliates open? Please, I want to play my
Bro,
champ,
bro,
dog.
what do you mean, bro? You can have a fellow.
for what day, that will have to be decided throughout the week, as the tournament is only going to be hosted on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday. So whoever plays has to be compatible with one of those 3 days.
Yeah, I can make those.
And so,
Yeah.
I think those should be good. I would could I request a time slot that is as early as this one, or like 7 p.m.
one that's like pushed earlier in the day.
Yeah.
The
If
scheduling
you-
will have to be reconciled with that of the Frogs, of course. And we'll have to see throughout the week. You guys can let me know of any updates or any changes to availability. We do have at least 5 days until the next game, so that should give everyone some time to anticipate last minute stuff.
All right.
Dude, I might be out of iron by the time that we play.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Let's
it'll
go.
be on player.
By the time we play again, my birthday will have elapsed, or my birthday will have taken place, so
Nice.
pretty happy for that.
I should have more wishes on Move On.
Alrighty.
Save up.
Now, it seems like your opponents, Club Agony, don't seem to be available for interviews, but I will congratulate them for participating, and for a couple of them, this was a last-minute decision. I don't want to burden anyone with feeling like they've truly failed something just because they've now been eliminated. But I am happy for your opponents for making it to game day.
Yeah, they played their best and they played their all. But I honestly had a great time. So I hope they.
It was a good challenge.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Sounds good. I'll now close out the stream and hope you guys have a good rest of the night.
You too.
Thus concludes round 2 out of 3 of the Vibing Kingdom Howling Abyss 5v5 tournament. Vibing Noonquiver won at the end of the day, going 2-0 against Club Agony, who fought their hardest to challenge the likes of Vibing's members. Moving forward, next weekend, we will have a matchup between the Frogs and Vibing Noonquiver to decide the champion of this tournament. Again, the format of finals will be the same. Best of 2 series. Winner is 2-0 or in a 1-1 tie, whoever has more turrets surviving. Again, may sound like a strange format, but it is there to make the tournament compressed. Might change it in the future. And lastly, we have draft pick, as you guys have seen multiple times already. Draft pick is where you can ban champions. In this game mode, you can ban 3 champions for your team. And then you can pick as normal, as if it were a Summoner's Rift match. The winners of the tournament will get $5 RP each. That isn't a whole lot of RP, but this isn't the most prestigious tournament in the world, and it's also not meant to be the strictest, most competitive, most teeth-grinding tournament ever. It's meant to be a fun competition between communities. And so we will see the schedule decided later this week, and we'll see the eventual champion of this tournament next weekend. Hope everyone takes care this week.